Markus, you're CEO of Heinekingmedia. I believe the majority of the people haven't heard about Heinekingmedia. It's a hidden champion. You claim you win 60 or 80% of all tenders in German schools?
No, that's not completely right, but actually the number is something close to 50%.
Close to 50%, but that's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive. So more than 10,000 schools in Germany use your solution. You've rolled out 25,000 touchscreens. Give us a short introduction. What is Heinekingmedia today?
Well, basically Heinekingmedia today is still a hidden champion, as you said. We are very much focused on the educational segment in Germany. We are a company with about 130 people working for us, mainly focusing on the German market, but in a strong way to expand our business to other markets and to expand our business also in adjacent products.
But Markus, we have to be honest, I mean, it's not about only selling a screen. You started, or when the company started, was always an end-to-end thinking. So it was always about offering everything from A to Z, and I think that really sets you apart, right?
I think that really makes the difference of Heinekingmedia. Whenever we have been looking on a certain segment, and Heinekingmedia is obviously focusing on a regulated segment, we have been looking into that segment that we are delivering everything from an end-to-end perspective to the need of the customer, which means as much as when we are selling to a school or to a government organization in the education area, we not only have our own direct sales, which is able to consult the school or the government. We also have our own products and our own screens, which we are producing or getting produced, of course, in China, but which have been designed by us to the need of that segment. We add our own support, also on-site support that's done by our own people. And we also add our own installation of these products, which means as much as we have like 15 installation teams as of today in Germany, which install all around in the schools our products. Plus, we have our own software development, developing dedicated software for that segment. And last but not least, we even provide video and audio material to the teachers so that we can educate them on how to use our products in a digital environment for classrooms.
But I think it all started that the founders of the company really cooperated with the school management platform, right? I think because you really understood, and if the whole digital signage industry is looking about how can they connect to back-end systems, Heinekingmedia was always built on a back-end system, not on your own one, but adding additional services on this platform, right?
That's right. We were always connected to a, let's say, school management system, which also gave us the proximity to the schools and to the school market to understand what is really needed there, how the processes are working in schools, what the challenges of the teachers and the schools are really. And that helped us a lot to develop our services and our products at the end of the day.
Also understanding the customer, I mean, the special requirements of schools. You know, public customers are very, very different to private industry.
I mean,
everything's different, I think.
I have been working for like 25 years, not with public customers. I'm coming from telecommunications and IT industry. I mainly have been working with B2B customers, a little bit with residential customers in the telecommunications industry, but I have never worked with public customers. The interesting part of my background is, and I joined Heinekingmedia as a CEO with the acquisition of Heinekingmedia last year. The interesting part of my background is I'm stemming from a teacher's dynasty, I would say. So everybody in my family really has become a teacher. There are only two people who have not become a teacher. That is one of my uncles. He's owning a chain of fitness studios, and myself, who became an engineer and then entered into the IT industry. So I have a strong background also myself to understand what is needed there.
But I think on one hand it's good because once you have a login and you understand the challenges, like having in Germany based data centers and everything, I think then it's easier. But to get into that and understanding the needs, I think it's very, very challenging. Or
it is very, very challenging. It is completely different from what you experience in a typical B2B situation. I mean, even with big companies which sometimes doing tenders to find the right supplier, the tenders in government are completely different. So also our whole sales organization and how we deal with that situation is very different from a typical B2B sales organization. And that is even including that we have been employing former teachers in our product management organization so that they can give us the right input and design the right products and services that it works with that environment.
But for the many years, Heineken was really focused on Germany because, ministry, every government is very different. But recently, you have moved to Switzerland, to Austria. You acquired a company in Austria. You're planning to go to Italy. So how do you manage scaling that? I imagine every government, every national thing has their own books and their own regulations. How do you do that?
Well, it depends. Look. When we acquired Heinekingmedia, it was clear for us that we have to establish a strong growth strategy, which is also built around a buy and build approach. So at the end of the day, we thought then, how can we extend Heinekingmedia? And obviously, we are in the business of providing screens to these schools, be it touch boards or be it information boards. Specifically equipped with other software, but we clearly thought that we have to go international. And Heinekingmedia was mainly focused on Germany throughout the past couple of years because it was owned by a German printing company, which was focusing only on Germany. So they were even not allowed to go abroad. And for us, it was very clear if we look onto the DACH environment, so Austria and Switzerland, at least the school systems are comparable. They are all talking about curricula, which gives the content which has to be taught to the pupils and so on and so forth. So they are a little bit comparable. Plus, they are using in parts the same school books and the same content. And they have the same internal processes on how they approach the market to buy stuff. And then it was clear for us, and plus I'm living in Switzerland for more than 20 years, so I know the Swiss market very well. It was very clear to us the next steps must be Switzerland and Austria. And we managed to enter into the Swiss market in November last year, pretty successfully with our own organization, and we managed to acquire a company in Austria which is in the digital signage space already and professional multimedia space and providing solutions to schools in March this year.
But Italy seems to be an odd place because or do you focus on Alto Adige in the beginning, where this German-speaking part? Or
we were definitely focusing on the German-speaking part in the beginning. So and we have been covering that now with Austria and Switzerland. Obviously, because these markets in terms of education are a little bit similar, so we can let's say copy our approach, which we were successful in Germany, into those markets. But now going into the next markets, of course, we have to learn again how these markets really work. In almost every market in Europe, we are talking about government and government tenders, so that will stay the same, but almost everything else is going to change. However, for the DACH market, and that's important to say, there's the 3 C's on which we are focusing on, and that is communication. We have our own communication software. It is collaboration. We do have our own educational focused collaboration software, which goes along with the digital touchboards. And the next step which we are going into is to become a content provider. So that's the 3 C's, and that works for the whole DACH region.
Okay, so content becomes more important. So you're really competing now with publishing houses, or are you cooperating with them, or do you want to offer like a server which hosts everything, or what is the future in content in schools?
Well, our vision of the future of content in schools is very much that most of the stuff is going to become digital.
Yeah.
I mean, today
we're not talking about PDF, right?
we are not talking about PDF here. I mean, and that is the big difference between the printing houses and ourselves. If I think about digital, it is completely different from what they think is digital. Because if they think digital, they think if we do a school book in PDF, that's digital, and it is not. So. Yes, we are competing with the printing houses, no doubt about that, specifically because we believe that digital is something else than what they believe.
Yeah.
And we have been establishing numerous contracts now with real digital content providers, which are going to provide digital content to our platform. And what we are going to establish is really a platform which is providing digital content for the German-speaking market, which is in line with the curriculum.
And omni-channel, so it's not only on the display in the classroom, but also app or at home, so students can work either way.
Exactly. I mean, one thing which is going to help us is, of course, that at the moment we have like 25,000 user interfaces in the classrooms. We have like 10,000 schools which are using our blackboards. We have like 1.5 million mobile apps out there, which is used by the pupils and by the teachers. And that is a user interface on which we are going to provide the digital content. So it is not only on the digital touchboards, it will be also through apps and, of course, through standard laptops and stuff like that, because the teacher at home needs to also have access to the digital content and needs to use it to get ready for the next day.
But I know you only joined last year, but how was it for the company when the pandemic started? I mean, beforehand it was quite difficult to convince schools about digital, and then demand exploded, I would imagine, or?
Well, I would not necessarily say demand exploded, as specifically not for digital whiteboards or something like that. Demand exploded for the communication tool. That's right, but not for the rest, because the schools were empty.
Okay, that's true. Yeah.
But we continued to sell, and there was a couple of things which we did and which we did very, very successful, and which we are continuing to doing. When the pandemic started, we immediately started to implement a professional TV studio. Nowadays, we have a professional TV studio in Hanover, which is on the level of NTV, and we started to sell out of that TV studio. So basically, those who made the decisions were on the other side, sitting, and we were sending and demonstrating and selling out of the TV studio with a very professional level. And today we are using that TV studio still for that, but also to provide and to produce professional videos, teaching and educating the teachers on how to use the stuff. And that was done by all of our sales, so we just continued on what we are doing in a digital way, let's put it that way. So we were not driving out there anymore to the government institutions or to the schools, but we were doing it through the TV studio. But why did you, I mean, you mentioned you're acquiring your screens in China, you're not using standard products. I remember many years ago you were one of the largest Samsung customers in Germany. Now you decided for certain hardware, especially for the touchscreens, I think, to acquire them directly in China. Is it a cost advantage, or is it more customized product, or what is the idea behind it? I would say it's both. I mean, it's even nowadays it's even three things. It's a cost advantage for us because we produce our own products, we brand our own products, and there's a lot of middlemen which are just cut out. Yeah. Second, we are able to design our products in a way that they are ideal for the German-speaking market and ideal to the tenders which we see. So we clearly say, hey, that needs to be in, that needs to go out, which again, on the one hand side, provides us an advantage in terms of functionality, but on the other hand side, provides us also an advantage in terms of cost. And the third thing is managing that supply chain in such a depth nowadays helps us to be able to deliver. Which means, to make a simple example, today I'm talking to my production line in China and tell them, hey, buy all the chipsets and the infrared frames and everything you can get. Here is the money. put it in stock so that you can produce what we need. And that's a tremendous advantage. It has been a tremendous advantage, specifically throughout the last 5-6 months, because we were able to deliver to everybody who was ordering with us, and most of our competitors were not, or they started to deliver products which were missing certain features and functions because they didn't get enough chipsets anymore.
I'm not sure if you went to Barcelona to IC, but
I did.
Okay, good. Maybe you saw the new 21:9 aspect ratio screens, which are supposedly the best ones for school classes because they're very wide and you could put Teams on it and everything. Well, Teams is not your story, but you know what I mean. Is that something you believe in, that also in classrooms we're moving away from the typical 69 to a more wider format to be more similar to older boards or so? Because teachers can better reach up. That's what I think was the main discussion.
I haven't seen a single tender so far asking for that, or a single customer of ours asking for that. I mean, if we want to really bring that to market, maybe a company like Heinekingmedia has to push it actively into the market and influence those who make the decisions to go towards such a kind of a product. But at the moment, I mean, we even not going beyond 86 typically.
Yeah.
Because it's too big for a typical teacher. He cannot reach the upper edge.
Yeah. And what about cameras and everything? Do you integrate cameras, or is it a difficult topic because of privacy?
It is a difficult topic in German schools because of privacy. So we don't integrate cameras at all at the moment. Most of the teachers don't want them. They even ask the government agencies to not ask in a tender for cameras. So we don't integrate them. We do have add-on cameras in our portfolios because some want to use them, but we do not integrate them.
Okay. Markus, look at this one. I mean, on the spot. I think Heinekingmedia is a very fascinating company, and I can, tell you already that Heinekingmedia for the first time also made it to the top 3 spot in our ranking, which will release in a few hours from now. So you can really see how this, hidden champion, and Germany is famous for hidden champions, and you're really a typical example of this one. So was really happy that you were here and gave us some insights, and I just can, tell all of you, please, have a look at them. It's quite fascinating, and it's quite great how, how you can be really successful in a small but very special vertical. So thanks a lot, Markus. Thank you.
Hey, thanks a lot for inviting me and having the slot for me.